Hi, today I'm gonna try a pastel. My pastels are out. Small ones. That's my large ones. These in the box are just extra large ones. I have them kind of sorted out. The ones in the case are large ones. I'm gonna attempt a pastel on this nice white paper. We're gonna sand it. I don't know whether I should draw it and then sand it, and then sand it and draw it. So I'm going to try drawing it and then sanding it. Alright, there's our drawing. It's a fuzzy calf. He will be fuzzy in the end. Just get a basic outline. I don't use anything special. I used this colored pencil because it was sitting right here on my table with my other junk. So it was handy. So anyway, here is the picture. And here's the sandpaper. It's a 400 grit. Automotive type of paper. It happens, there you go, wet or dry. It happens to be in our truck because it's rusty and we use it for fixing stuff. I'm just gonna take that and run it over the paper and see how it works. See, I was afraid it would take the drawing right off. It took some of the bleach out of the paper, but it didn't make the drawing disappear, so we'll see how it works with the pastel. It's kind of a very smooth cardstock is what it is. I don't have pastel paper, so I am a poor starving artist, so we make do with what we have and see if we can create something pretty. Dirty hands. Alright. Them's the pastels. Those are the big ones. We've got all sorts of shades here. I don't think you need that many shades, but it's fun to have them all. I have the small ones. Lots of shades. And I was trained to start with your background. In pastels, it's maybe not as picky, but it's still, you want to be able to overlap your background so your picture comes forward out of your paper. I'm always looking for the kind of 3D effect. Yeah, the other thing with the background is this calf is going to be a browny orangey color. So my first decision is to try to figure out what will complement or go with or the opposite of for the background. So I'm leaning towards, because it's a winter calf, so you kind of don't want green, which would be okay if it had a shorter coat, but you want to kind of make it seem like it's winter. So I'm leaning towards the blues, a bluey purpley background, and hopefully that'll work. I'd really like to be able to show you guys me working, but I don't have a stand for my this is the color I picked for my tablet to be able to like hold the camera. I added in something to kind of spice up the color. We'll see how that works, and hopefully it complements and kind of brings the brown and the yellow out. So there's the background. I did blend with my fingies, but it could be hazardous to your health. I rinse my fingers off. I try to rinse them off in between. I tried using a pair of gloves, not pair really, and then trimmed them down just to fit my fingers, but latex gloves, but my fingers tend to sweat, and so I try to wipe my fingers off in between. Some of the colors can contain cadmium and could eventually make you very sick, so I try to be careful with them. Alright, first layer down. You could do this layer in watercolor or acrylic, a light color underneath, just for a base. Gives you a base. You can do it either way. I am currently without fixative, so I'm trying to work it careful. That the line you see here is from when I was sanding my paper folder. Some of the other lines are from my table. It's a little beat up, so it's well used. So, and then it's basically layering, and I'll show you the final, or the middle product, and then I'll show you a final. Like I said, I can't set this up to work at this point, so, okay, thank you. Okay, this is the middle, and a lot of people will say, oh, you know, it's talent, it's this and that. A lot of it is practice, seeing the little stuff in a picture that makes the difference in a painting. But it's also recognizing the shade and the color maybe that you need to use in those certain, like the old color by numbers. Break your photo down into, say, like a color by numbers, and that little section on, say, the nose. What color is it really? Well, it's not quite white. His nose is not quite black. It's kind of a browny, gray, bluey type of thing. So, practice breaking a picture into the color variations and finding the match when you do, and it brings the picture more to life. And you can use weirder colors if you want. There's people that do that, more pop art, but whatever works. If you want to make it more realistic, then just take a photo and break it down into the color by numbers pattern. Alright, I'm near done on this. Wasn't sure if it was going to work. I still need to just highlight a little bit. It's not perfect. It's hard because this paper just doesn't hold the pastel very well, even with it sanded. So, as you can see though, you got all sorts of colors in this calf. It's not, if you go brown, sometimes with pastel you're going to use black to bring the highlights out better. They're orange, orangey red, blue, purple, little of everything to kind of just blend together and bring the colors out. Probably do a little bit more on the hair on the face, and even out the eyes a little bit, just with the color, and then call it done. I don't think I teach you much, but that's just how I do things, and maybe you'll find some pointers. In this one, it wasn't a lot of blending because the paper doesn't hold the pastel, so it's more layering of pastel with a little bit of blending. Someday I'll get paper with a little more tooth to it to work it better.